Business fun? Doing good?
Always.
Cool. Well, this mic is going to be your mic.
Okay.
So do you mind if I get a picture of you with the iHeart behind it since it's going up on iHeartRadio?
No, I don't mind at all.
Cool.
Is there a good place?
Yeah, that's perfect. 1, 2, 3. And you're in. Then this way I've got a picture of you when you go up on iHeartRadio. Then you go, who is this? So you have written a book.
I have. Actually, I want a copy so you can kind of see what else I've done.
What would inspire you to write a book about divorce? It almost seems like a negative subject.
Well, I think people need to be educated about it. So the reason I started writing it, of course, I practice law, so I'm an attorney, and people would call me with questions, and they'd say, how do I do this, or what's going to happen? And they had all these concerns, and sometimes they'd say, I can't really afford a lawyer. So I started looking for a book to say, hey, go read this book, and there wasn't one. And nobody had anything out there. It was all written for lawyers, and it's dry, and it's hard to read. And so I said, well, let me see if I can write something. And we just, it's for sale on Amazon, but we give it away. People can get it.
But the website is?
DivorceGuidebook.com.
And this it's done in people speak, so it's not lawyer speak or anything like that.
Absolutely people speak.
Did you have to, being a lawyer, how did you have to dummy it down?
Well, it's not that hard for me. I grew up on a little dairy farm out in the middle of nowhere, and where people don't really go to law school. And so I think I just went back to my roots and said, hey, what would I want to know? I've been divorced. I got divorced very young. I went through a custody trial myself. So I'd been through it. So I was thinking of it that way. Is what would I want someone to tell me? So I know how to deal with this as I'm going through it.
So what would be the one thing that guys or even girls would want to know? Is it more of a protection thing? I want to protect what rightfully belongs to me?
I think people feel out of control.
Yes.
It's like it's all happening to you and you can't stop it, especially if you didn't choose it. The person's just walked out of your life and now you're trying to pick up the pieces and divide maybe time with your children when you didn't plan to divide time with your children. Or you're now trying to divide your retirement and maybe you're in your 50s and there was not a plan that this was going to get divided at some point. So I think it's really feeling like you don't have any control over it. And in my mind, the best way to get control over it is to get educated, is to learn, find out what's going to happen. And if you're going through the process, ask people, ask your attorney if you have one, what's next? What's going to happen next? What are the procedures? What's the steps? So you feel like you've got at least a little bit of a grasp about what's going on. So
it's usually fear over substance then?
I think it is.
And when you have fear, then you have doubt.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden, then
just eats at you.
Mm-hmm. And what is the main reaction of guys? Do they feel like, well, I worked hard for this. This is all mine. Why does she get half of it?
No, I really don't see that with guys. I mean, you would think maybe
guys
they would.
Guys are compassionate.
They really are.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Most of the guys that come in that they'll say, I don't want to leave her without anything. I want to take care of my family, but I want to be able to eat too. And that's usually their reaction is, how can I do both? It's really a balancing act, and it's tough. I mean, it's really hard off of, especially if there's a stay-at-home spouse involved. If we've got a stay-at-home mom, it's really hard. How are we going to divide this income in two places and make it do what it did when it was going to one house? So you've got to balance it a little bit.
And is it all protected by law? Is there a certain guideline that you have to abide by, or how does that work out?
I wish there was a formula for it. For child support, there is.
Yes.
Child support's a calculator formula. We have a free calculator on our website. You can go on and calculate your child support. You put all the numbers in. It spits out a number. It tells you what to pay. That's easy. For spousal support, alimony, and that type of thing, there's not a math formula for it. Basically, what the court looks at is, do we have somebody that's a dependent spouse, somebody that relies on you for their care, that you've been paying most of the bills? And if we have that, that's check one. And then they say, okay, do they have a need? In other words, do they have bills that need to be paid and they can't pay them, and how much is it? And then do you have excess after you pay your bills? So can you meet it?
Right.
So it's really...
Plus, minus equals,
yeah,
plus, minus.
It's messy. It's messy because it's so subjective. I mean, what are bills that should be allowed? If you've been spending $500 a month going to the spa, do you still get to spend that? So, and I don't know the answer. And the judge, it's up to a judge if you go to court unless you agree to it on your own.
Who's the one person you don't want to see in that meeting with you? The mother-in-law?
Family can have the best of intentions, but they can certainly get you in trouble. Getting outside advice is tough. I hate the best friends that have been through it and they're telling you what you should get or what you should do because they did this. But their situation's different. It's not your life that they're talking about. It's theirs. So it may not match up.
So divorce is like a wedding. There's no two weddings the same. Therefore, there's no two divorces the same.
That's perfect.
But how do you get through it? Do you have to deal with the mental side of it, or do you just get them the strength so they can go get the mental side of it?
We have people we refer. So there's counselors out there, and I definitely tell people to get in a support group, get counseling if they need it. But we do deal with the mental side of it. I mean, I have people that call and say, I'm just calling to vent. They'll start it that way. They're not calling to ask me for legal advice. They said, just want to tell you what's going on, and then we'll talk about it. And sometimes I think just having somebody else to listen is enough. And, a lot of times people are telling us as their attorney things that no one knows, things their parents don't know about their marriage, things that their best friends don't know. I mean, people don't share all the behind-the-scenes action with everybody they know. And so it's the first chance they've had to really unload all the baggage and tell somebody that they know can't go tell anyone.
How do you prepare for a court date? I mean, when rock stars walk up on a stage, they've got to mentally be prepared. What do you do?
When I'm going into trial, I listen to a mix of it's music, and I listen to it in the car on the way to court. And it's normally I listen to kind of easy listening sort of stuff, but it's kind of heavy rock, and I do. Yeah, I totally do.
Wow. Are we talking classic rock?
Yeah, I do.
What's your favorite band?
AC/DC.
Really?
I mean, in the classic stuff, yeah. I mean,
I want the lawyer that gets into Bon Scott.
Yeah, right. It's good stuff, though, but you want to go with a little energy. Yeah. It's really easy because you go into court and you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and sometimes the waiting can kind of suck the life out of you, and you get up there and you just don't have the energy that you started with. So I try to come in with a lot of energy and be there.
Now, when you have to go up there and you have to have that little mumble talk with the judge, you guys are actually just talking about fashion, aren't you? Come on, seriously. I mean, all of a sudden you're going, what do you mean they got to talk? What's going on? I mean, do you ever just sit there and just look at him going, this is a wasted time?
I know, right? Yeah. So, it's funny. Sometimes the judge is asking a question about what is it you guys are trying to do. Sometimes they're trying to give us a little bit of guidance, and they're saying, hey, look, I know you're talking about all this stuff. I don't care about it. Let's move it on. Here's what I want to hear. But they don't want to say, maybe say it out loud, whatever it is they're asking us.
Is there a time limit? I mean, is it like Judge Joe Brown, man? I mean, where you've got 30 minutes to get this baby in and out. Let's move it.
Yes.
Yes. Really?
Yes, it is. There are time limits.
So do you have to buy time? Is that what it is? I mean, it's a courtroom. I mean, you got 22 minutes.
It's basic. I mean, basically, you do have limits. So if you're going for a hearing, it's not a permanent trial. You're going for a hearing like temporary custody or temporary child support, those kind of things. You normally have about 2 hours, sometimes less. If you're going for a full trial, the attorneys sort of estimate and the judge decides how long they're going to give you, and they keep track. So you might get 10 hours, which means you get 5 and the other side gets 5, and the judge is up there with his timer, and he's keeping track, and you're expected to move it along.
Wow. And that inspired you to write a book, North Carolina Divorce Guidebook.
Yeah, it did. I really wanted people to have a reference they could go to. So when they do have those middle of the night wake up, they're going, oh, my God, I've got that hearing. What am I going to do? I really need to talk to my attorney, but they're not going to call me back at 3 a.m. They can go to the book, read that section, and maybe get a little bit of comfort.
Do you ever find it in your heart, though, that when somebody comes in and says, I want a divorce, you go, are you sure?
Oh, I've done it all the time.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So you have compassion.
Oh, absolutely. I don't want to divorce anyone. When people come to me, I want them to be sure that in their heart they're already divorced. I'll handle the paperwork. I'll do the hearings. I'll do all that kind of stuff. But if you can save your marriage, save your marriage.
So you agree with that North Carolina law of keeping separated for a year?
That law has its pluses and minuses.
Right.
It does. I mean, I don't find that people get back together all that often, that being separated for a year makes that much difference. yeah, my husband says marriages don't go out in a bang; they go out in a fizzle. And he's so right, because it's a long period of time where you've been waking up next to that person and not liking them very much, and it's kind of grown. So I don't know that 1 year gets people back together. But at the same time, I don't think it'd be a great thing to be able to go out tomorrow and get a divorce, because people do sometimes change their minds and work it out. I think there maybe is a middle ground, but they've got proposals for that law to expand to where it'd be 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Only because I can just see people just rolling their eyes right now going, really?
I know. 2 years. Yeah, people hate it.
Wow. That shocked me. The when you're preparing for divorce court, basically, do you ever just sit there and try to figure out what if it goes the opposite direction? Or are you physically prepared?
Yeah, I always think about what's going to happen if it goes the other way. I always tell my clients the worst case. I try to give them, this is what I think your worst case is going to be. This is our best day. This is our worst day, so that we know. I don't like to lose. So
Right.
I never go in planning to lose. I mean, it happens to all of us. If you try enough cases, you're going to lose some. But, if I think I'm going to lose, then I'm usually trying to work a deal out in the back and get something done and not end up there, walking out without what we wanted.
Do lawyers have scoreboards? Do they ever just sit in the back of the room? It's a scoreboard. So when you take on that next lawyer, you're going, uh-oh. I'm like 0-2 with this one.
I think we all know who's good, and we all know the people that win.
Yeah, because I've always noticed that lawyers know you by first name.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and it's like, uh-oh, uh-oh,
Yeah.
uh-oh.
Yeah.
They got like a secret between the two of them.
I think most lawyers, it's like any business. It's small. The number of lawyers that just really handle family law cases, there are not that many of us. And so we know each other. We know what's going on, and we know who's going to argue certain ways. I think we know those things. I don't know that there's not anyone that I'd be terribly afraid to go up against. So I'll take it wherever it goes, but I think we know the scores.
All right, final question. We know that AC/DC is when you go into the courtroom. When you're coming out, what's your song?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It's I hope it's We Are the Champions. Right? I hope we come out winning.
or Michael Bolton, if you lose, I said I loved you, but I lied.
Oh yeah, that's a good
one.
Exactly.
So your website one more time.
It's divorceguidebook.com, or you can also go to McIlveenFamilyLaw.com.
And once again, when you have that middle of the night question or fear, they can go to that website.
Absolutely. You can go there, download the book. It's free. It doesn't cost anything at all. You can read it right there. You get an immediate download, so you'll get it right away.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.